Okay guys, this is actually flight number 2 on the replacement Osprey. First flight went off perfectly. Everything worked as it should, flies nice. The only adjustments I made to this one was to the left motor nacelle. I went 1/2 a turn to make sure I was even in both the forward flight mode and the hover mode. Worked out perfectly. All controls check good. We'll go through a control check again at this point. Here is the hover mode check. With of course, the other controls don't work in that mode. If I push forward as if I was doing rolling takeoff, it goes to that position. Looks good, and it measured out even when I did it. And if we go to aircraft stability mode, we have our control check, and we switch to aircraft agility mode, and we have our control check. As I was concerned in the video or online on RC groups, I was worried about this from my model after it had crashed, and I had the opportunity to talk to Jason and Sean, who's in the product development. They happened to be at Sun and Fun, and we looked at the one they had on display, and it reacted exactly like this, exactly like the one I had that I had mishap with. So it is not the same as AS3X. The flight controller handles things differently, which it has to be able to actually even fly this model. So I had a very nice conversation with them. They answered a lot of questions I had. This is a very unique airplane and needs to be treated as such. So anyway, let's put a flight on her, and this will be flight number 2 on this Osprey. Throttle is 1 click up. If I shut that down, it's 1 click. I say 1 click up. I had raised it up till it would go ahead and start running. Okay, and here we go. Very nice in the hover mode. I love it. And I'm by a tree line here, so it's blocking the wind just a little bit, but let's go ahead and land. And I'm going to show you a rolling takeoff. A little bit too much there, but kind of fun to play with. If you tickle it just right, it just is awesome to watch. Okay, let's see how our transition goes. Into stability mode. And guys, one thing I learned in my conversation with Sean and Jason, but you really need to keep the speed up on the transition. There's a very slight possibility I may have been a tad slow when I went into my acro. So I'm keeping the throttle up now. Here's acro mode. And you can see there was no change that you could perceive, but now I can actually bank and roll and do all that. And we'll do a little bit of a Cuban 8. I'm actually running full throttle right now. Okay, I'm going to back it off a little bit. Okay, flying very nicely. And there's quite a little breeze. It's supposedly around 8 miles an hour at this point. Now I'm away from the tree line a little bit. I can feel it. And it might be noticeable. The airplane looks like it's going fairly slow that direction, and then we're going to start really moving this direction. That's the wind, guys. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go into hover mode. coming up. There we go. And we're in hover mode. You can see there's quite a wind. And we'll go back to stability mode. And I'm increasing the throttle. I really not used to flying in the stability mode because I'm just not used to the slower control response. So I'm going right to acro now. And throttling up for my turns just to make sure. I'd love to say there wasn't pilot error involved in my first one, but it's a new airplane, got different characteristics than anything we've ever flown. But I'm loving it. It flies great now. The wind is pretty aggressive, so let's see how we go back into hover mode here. Very nice. Very nice. And since I didn't reset the timer, it's not going to beep at me, but I'm right at 3:56, 7, and this is 4 minutes right there. And throttle cut, actually 4 minutes, 8 seconds it was. Very nice, very pleased. It's flying exactly like I had hoped. They've done an awesome job with this model. They just have, I think, just a little percentage of issues with some, as I had with my first one, but this one is error-free. It's perfect. See if I can get unplugged. And radio off. And my grandson. Hey, baby.